another episode of On the Road with Loan Signing System with signing agent Andrew out in Colorado. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mark?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody who's watching, it's actually Christmas Eve. And so thank you for being here Christmas Eve with us, trying to inspire signing agents or would-be signing agents that if you can do it, they can do it. Because Andrew, man, your story is freaking inspiring. I can't wait to tell it. So Andrew did $10,000 in his third month as being a signing agent. How does that sound, by the way?
Kind of crazy. It's the most money I've made in my life, on a monthly basis. So it's exciting. It's awesome.
I love it. And the crazy part is month number 2, he actually made $9,000. But I don't know if everybody knows, we have these money clubs inside the loan signing system, and the $10,000 club is a pretty exclusive club. And Andrew's actually the quickest to it. So I'll stop rambling. You want to hear his story? It's crazy. How he learned about the loan signing system or just the signing agent industry is crazy. So Andrew, I'm excited to tell people your story. It's a story of just realness, rawness, and I'll let you take it away. So my first question I ask everybody on these is, why did you become a signing agent? Talk about that journey.
Well, I actually met Robin. She did our refi at our house, and that was, I think, a couple years ago. And she told me about you, Mark, and your system. And then I asked her, how much do you make an appointment? And she told me, I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So I started doing the math in my head, and I'm like, maybe I could do this one day.
I think it's crazy how a loan signing system student did your refinance, and
Yeah.
you're inquiring. So I think that's kind of a really cool way of how you found about this industry.
Yeah.
So anyhow, go on.
Well, I was employed. I was working in the audit field, have an accounting background, and just kind of going from job to job, kind of dead end, not really motivating. I mean, I can't complain. They were good jobs, benefits and all that. But we got pregnant. My wife had our son, and then in that time, also my mom got cancer, and we started to kind of talk about, like, what do we want our life to look like? Life is short, first off, and what do we want to do while we're still young and not wait until maybe we're retired to try something new, to start a business. So I actually quit my job, and we decided to travel, spend a lot of time with family in Chicago, and kind of reassess what we want for our future. So we did that for about a year.
Well, I mean, Andrew, I think that alone is inspiring, man. And sometimes, unfortunately, it takes an event like a loved one getting cancer to kind of really put things in perspective, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Cancer, no matter how you cut it, is real.
Yeah.
and it really puts like life in its fullest. You just had a baby boy. Congratulations, by the way. Your son's about to sign its age as my son, so I love it.
Yep.
I love it. But yeah, I think it's really, and thank you, by the way, for talking about that personal part of your journey, because, I think that cancer touches a lot of families, not just yours. And I think it's really cool. I think it's inspirational is, loan signings aside, you made a decision early on, like, I'm going to just take life by its horns. I'm going to go travel. So I think that's really cool, man. And I don't want that to be glossed over, because I think it's really cool how you just said, look, I'm going to go spend time with my mom. She has cancer. I'm going to go show with my wife. So, okay, cool. I just want to make sure that I gave credit to that, because that's a really cool way of living life.
Yeah.
And it's really says something awesome to you and your wife. So I hope your mom's doing better. I don't know where she is in the cancer treatment, but I think it's really cool that you wanted to spend.
Yeah, it's manageable. She's kind of, month to month, but it's good. She's doing well. Thank you.
Well, good to hear that. Okay. So now, so you travel, we stopped your story there. Then what happens?
Well, we got back to Denver. We had rented our house for a year to some friends, and we got back to Denver, moved in, and I said, oh, I'll be able to find a job. I've been working in this field for 8 years, and that wasn't the case. I spent a good month applying for all sorts of positions and not really getting anywhere. And then I remembered Robin and you, Mark, and loan signing system. And I was like, maybe I should look into that, because, I mean, what else am I going to do? And
well, first, I apologize for interrupting, but I want to glance over something that I think is like really relatable. I think there's a lot of people who go through the same struggle. I don't know if that's quite the appropriate word, but of trying to find work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
I could imagine after traveling for a year, you know, you're kind of a position of like, I need to find some source of income because
Yeah.
I've been traveling, right? I
Yeah.
mean, am I kind of
So,
close on that?
yeah, absolutely. So first off, when you travel for a year, it's more expensive than you think. And we were traveling in an RV. We did spend some time with family in Chicago, but it was very expensive, more than we thought. We had some we had some surprise expenses as well to the house and things like that. And so essentially, I was broke. I didn't have a lot of money in the bank. I I needed to get a 0% interest card and start. I bought my printer and all the supplies on that credit card, and I was started living off that. And I said, okay, I need to get this thing going. I have nothing to lose. So I bought your course on Independence Day of this year, and my first signing was July 20th.
So, okay, cool. We're gonna get into your signing agent journey because I know
Oh,
everyone
sorry.
wants to hear. No, you're good. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. And you know, because I want to hear how you scaled this so quickly.
Yeah.
But I think once again, I want to say thank you. You know, because I think you're not the only person who is quote unquote broke, and I think you probably, you know, like what I think is really cool is how you took that leap of faith of I'm going to get a credit card and charge this whole entire business,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go sink or swim. And
Yeah.
like, dude, that is a decision and a leap of faith, that believing in yourself. And I want to make sure that I give you credit for that because it's so much of starting a business is just believing in you
Yeah.
and getting a credit card and admitting that to everybody and living off the credit card and having a wife and having a son and a new child, frankly, an infant, what I should say,
Yeah.
and living off the credit card and also charging your brand new business through this credit card that's putting food in your family's mouth, man.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
inspiring
Well,
story.
thank you, and you inspired me too. So after watching all your videos on YouTube and going through the course, I mean, you teach us that all the time. Have faith, put put the important things first, and don't worry about the money. Focus on the foundation, um, and it'll grow.
I love it, man. I honestly, I can't be more proud of you, man. I don't know if I say that enough.
Yeah,
I'm
thanks.
happy for you and
You
your
do.
family. Uh, yeah, good. Because I'm super proud of you. And I mean, honestly, I mean, your journey is incredible from broke to, I mean, so just to inspire some more people who might be watching this. I mean, you were never in the real estate industry before you became a signing agent.
No, never. Always worked in private or public kind of, you know, audit roles. So very administrative. I mean, I was used to looking at documents all the time and talking with people and breaking down, concepts and controls and financial processes, but nothing in the real estate industry. No.
Yeah, because I
Sorry.
think a lot of people on the outside looking in sometimes get a little nervous. Like, I've never been in the industry before,
Yeah.
and I don't even know the difference between a fixed rate note and a HELOC.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I want to inspire people through your journey, who's now a $10,000 a month signing agent, that you didn't know real estate verbiage before you took the course.
Nope. I knew a little bit. I mean, from refinancing myself and having a house, but that was two transactions. So it was a little scary when you're going to say, okay, I'm going to try to do 5 a day. That's a lot of detail that you have to pay attention to.
No, I love it. So, no, anyways, thank you for talking through that, because
Sure.
so, these interviews are about inspiring someone to, that they can do it too. And so the fact that you've never been in the real estate industry, you're never a loan officer, real estate agent, escrow officer, and now making $10,000 a month, it's like anyone could do this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It just takes
I love
drive. I would say the biggest things are just focus and motivation and drive. That's really it. I mean, just one day at a time, focus on what you need to do and grow the business organically.
I love it. I love the word motivation and drive. And I'm kind of going a little bit of a tangent here, but
Yeah.
like, what would you say your motivation and drive is?
Well, like you mentioned, family. Obviously, we got to put food on the table, and we want to be comfortable. We want to. Eventually, I'd like to buy more real estate. That was always the long-term goal. And the jobs that I had, I wasn't making a ton of money, extra money to save and for down payments and that, so to speak. So I would say the biggest motivation, family, having flexibility in this line of work. I mean, I'm working 6 days a week generally. I usually work on Saturdays a little bit, but there's no reason why somebody can't work part-time and make $5,000 a month. I mean, it's totally, totally doable.
I love it. And what's cool is, like as you said, you're choosing to work 6 days a week because you have bigger drives and goals. So I mean, your goal is to make
Yeah,
10, 12, $15,000 a month. And so you're making the decision based upon your
absolutely.
drive and motivation. I think that's really cool to inspire other people is,
Yeah,
like we have students, as you know, making $5,000 a month part-time. So the fact that you're working 6 days is because you're choosing to. And I think that's one of the best parts about being a signing agent is
yeah.
you can make as much money as you want or as little money as you want.
Very good point. And the other thing that's really motivating for me is you get paid, um, you know, your income is generally directly related to your effort. So it's
Mhm.
not like a salaried position where, oh, if I get this spreadsheet done quicker, I'm gonna get a bonus. That doesn't work like that. But if you get out there and hit the pavement, talk to people, um, start marketing and just being real with people and say, listen, here are my skills. I can help you. Let me know if I can. And if you get a door shut in your face, so what? There's 30 more down the street.
I love it. And I love hearing it from students because, people think I'm trying to sell a course when I
Yeah,
say it's literally as easy as telling somebody about your skills. And to hear it from a $10,000 a month signing agent, that's you just tell people about your skills.
yeah,
And when it comes in, and look, I will be the first person to say, like you, is you're not going to bat 1,000. That's not realistic. Like no business in the world gets 1 out of 1 customers.
yeah.
It's 2 out of 5, 4 out of 10. Like that's what's real. But if you tell enough people about your skill,
Hmm.
sky's the limit, man. They're like 2020 for you, Andrew, should be a signing service. It should be the highest grossing LSS student. If your
That would be
goals don't
great.
scare you, they're just thoughts, my man. So
Yeah,
your goals
yeah,
gotta be big. Let's go. I'm so,
yeah.
so excited for your
Thank you.
future.
Thank you.
Okay. You're so welcome, man. Okay. I get all excited for you students. So I get all juiced up. Okay, cool. So everyone's probably dying to hear, like, Mark, stop talking. Let's hear about his journey. So journey's cool. Like I said, you're the fastest grossing student to the 10K club. So in your third full month
Crazy.
as a it's crazy. And we have thousands of students, right? It's insane.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think, so let's
Thank
talk about your journey now. So I know you kind of alluded to it early in the interview, but let's kind of start over and talk. So you got the course on Independence Day and take it from there.
you. Yep. And started signing up for services, signing services that is, and I think I signed up for maybe 20. Um, Obviously went through the course probably 3 times just to make sure I understood everything. Um, got all my supplies and then yeah, it was like 2 weeks in. I think I emailed you and I was like, this isn't working. I'm not getting any phone calls. What's going on?
Okay, so
And
let
you
me just
you just told
back
me
up.
be patient. Yeah,
Let me back up for everybody watching this. So Andrew gets a course on July 4th, right? And he blows through the course and he goes through a couple times and
two
he's all
days.
in because I told you he's motivated, right? 2 days.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's motivated, like he's all in. And so, I mean, I'm going off memory here. It might be like July 10th or like 12th or 15th.
yeah,
I
yeah.
get an email. I'm not getting any phone calls. This isn't working. What's going? I'm like, you've been an LSS student for 2 weeks.
I know, but I'm broke.
Right? I love it. I
Yeah,
love you telling the story. And so I'm like, so I'm literally on the emails with them. I'm like, hey, just be patient
yeah,
with the system, man. Keep following it, keep doing it. And
yeah.
so lo and behold, I think July 20th was your first signing.
Was my first signing, and it was actually a reverse mortgage, and I was like, whoa, this is gonna be interesting. So, and it was right down the street from my house. So I was like, oh, this is awesome. Did that. It went well. The couple was very gracious. Um, and then the work started to kind of come in. Obviously, Denver's a booming city, a lot of real estate, a lot of people moving here. And yeah, I think I did 2.2K in July, which was great. And that was in about 2 weeks. And I was like, this is awesome.
Okay, let
And
me just say,
then,
I love
yep.
how you glanced over like, I was like 2.2K in 2 weeks. So awesome. But I mean, what I like to point out to people is like, it took you about 2.5 weeks to kind of see what I teach you guys to do,
Yeah.
in the database, call them up, everything I teach you. And then it just kind of goes, right? And so it's
Yeah.
what I call farming, what I teach you guys to farm. And it's just,
Yeah.
you plant the seeds, water the seeds, and then boom. So I think that's crazy, man. I mean, you did your watering for 2 to 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you're making 2 grand in two
Yeah.
weeks. Okay.
And the biggest thing is like you don't know. I didn't know if each package was going to be totally different types of forms and paperwork, and so I was a little nervous about that. But once I did a few dozen, I was like, okay, I got this. This isn't as complicated as people make it seem sometimes. And you taught us very well, by the way, so thank you. And
Yeah.
so I was like, you know what? What do I have to lose? I'm gonna go start marketing direct in my second month. And I think I made a list of we're close to the tech center in Denver, so there's a lot of businesses, a lot of title companies. So I made a list of companies, and I think I visited 8 or 10 in a day. Had my business cards, had my spiel, just kind of walked in and figured, what do I have to lose? If they say no, or hey, we already have enough people, that's fine. I'll go talk to somebody else.
Love it. Okay, I'm gonna like there's so much awesomeness right there, man. And whether you're an LSS student or not, what I want to hear, and which is a big testament to you, is you saw 8 to 10. Like you made a decision. I'm gonna go all in. I'm building a business.
Mm-hmm.
There's some signing agents right now who are watching this who've been signing agents for 2 years. Let's look at Robin Schmidt or Laura Tasadri, who took 5 years from when they made that first plunge. You started marketing direct in month number 2. So if you're
Yeah.
watching this interview right now and you haven't marketed direct, or you haven't made that leap, it's just a matter of I'm believing in myself. You took the script that I gave you, you made it yours, and you made a decision of I'm going to go in, I'm going to use the script, and if I don't bat 1,000, it's not the end of the world, man. I want to commend you on that attitude. I want to commend you on, and you deserve the credit. I get none of the credit for that. It's your belief in yourself, and I will hope that inspires other people. It's like month number 2. I'm going to go speak to 8 10. You made a list, like you said, and you go right in. And I don't want people to overlook that point because, I always tell people the system only works if you work the system.
Mm-hmm.
And you work the system, man. And I want to make sure I say that. And I'm proud of you. And okay, cool. So you go 8 to 10. How'd that first day go? Let me back up here. There's some people who are like, okay, I'm not a people person. So were you nervous? Let's talk because I want to try to inspire about like, are you a sales professional? You know what I mean? Let's talk through that a little bit.
Nope. I mean, obviously I was working in accounting, always kind of an analytical person, and I'm generally an introvert, but I enjoy people. I can hold a conversation, but not for a super long time. I'm not working in marketing. I'm not a salesperson by any means. But I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I got out of the car and just walked in, and they're just people, they're people that need your skills and they need you to close loans. So when that kind of clicked in my head, like you always say, I kind of personalized it in a way and said, okay, how can I personalize this to kind of use my background, my history, which anybody can do, right? If you're in sales, great. You can use those skills. I have great speaking skills. Or, hey, I worked in accounting. I have attention to detail. I look at documents all day. This is something I can do. So that was kind of what motivated me and got me to all those title companies. And it didn't. I would say it went well. Most people were very polite and nice, and multiple companies or offices took my card and said, great, we'll call you. I actually got a call from a title company the next day, and I wasn't even ready for it. I didn't even have my journal yet.
That's what I'm saying. The system works. But here's what I want to say. I think you said an amazing nugget, and I hope people rewatch what you just said. And brand new signing agent, never been in the business. But instead of telling somebody, and I tell you guys to be honest and upfront, what you did was you used your background to sell yourself as someone could be valuable on the team. And that's what I teach you, bring value, right? But you said, I'm an accountant. So what's a strength an accountant has? Paying attention to detail. So you can, instead of saying, I've never been in the signing agent industry before, you don't ever say that. They don't really need to know if you have or haven't. Mm-hmm. What they need to know is, how can you help my business? And what you're using is your professional background of accounting. And like you said, maybe you were outside sales before, or maybe you were a cell phone salesman. Whatever it is, you can just use your skill set, or maybe you were a nurse. You know, if you're a nurse, you got to pay attention to detail. We have some very successful nurse LSS students, but
Wow.
it's spinning your background
Hmm.
into a value add for them. And that I
Yeah.
think was worth getting to this point of the interview,
Yeah.
because no one said that yet. And it's what I teach you guys, right? Add value, bring value, and you take the script, add it to your background, you
Hmm.
present it, and you got a signing the day after you market yourself direct.
Yeah.
So even if
Kind of
people don't
crazy.
take the LSS course
Yeah.
and they only take the nugget you just taught them, I think they can go out, and I encourage people to go out, go direct, because like you said, man, they need you. So if you're watching this, 2 months in the business, never been a signing agent, getting direct business right out of the gate. If
Yeah.
Andrew could do it, you can do it, period. I love
Yeah.
it, man. So
Thank you.
we're in month number 2 now, okay? You did 2.2K in your first month. The second month, talk about that month.
Oh man, it was crazy. I started getting texts and phone calls and emails. You know, it was like a snowball, like you said. It just kind of started building, and I was doing probably 5 signings a day, and turning down others because I just didn't know if I could make them. Now I have some tips I guess I could share later of how to manage more signings over time. But oh, it was bonkers. It was just busy, and then the rates went down again. So I was like, great.
Okay, so month number 2, you do 9.9, and
Yeah.
at that moment, you know, you're probably 60-40 signing service versus direct, 70-30
Oh,
signing service.
probably 75-25, mostly on the signing service side.
Okay, so let's
Um,
talk about that real quick, because I want to inspire some people real quick on the
yeah,
signing service side, you know, and because, you know, I tell all you students, diversify your income strategy until you're able to dedicate, you know, to all direct. I'm not against signing service. I'm just against you building a portfolio where you make the money you deserve. So,
yeah,
you know, a lot of these videos or interviews are about, you know, students going direct, but I want to talk about your signing service journey, because I
yeah,
think it's important. So, you know, because I teach you students to create relationship with the signing services. So once you start getting up and running with the signing services, you're creating relationships with the signing services as well. Are they calling you directly, or are you still getting only through cattle calls? Talk about that.
yeah. That was actually one thing I was surprised about. They started to call me direct and say, "Hey, can you do this signing on this day and time?" And I was like, "Don't you guys have an app?" Like, but that's great. Thank you for calling me. I was kind of surprised because I was so new to it.
Some people, you know, I try to tell people, whether they're students or not, is you can create relationships. More specifically, you can get these signing services to call you directly instead of only
Yeah,
focusing on cattle calls, or what I
yeah,
call a cattle call, meaning it goes
yeah,
out to 10 different notaries.
yeah.
So you're getting phone calls directly, and you're having like relationships with these schedulers.
Yes, and that's a really good point, Mark. Thanks for mentioning that. Is you mentioned that in your course, like just pick up the phone, call them, and say, "Hey, I'm available. This is where I live. I'm right in the middle of Denver. Um, I can go anywhere. I generally tell them I'll drive about 50 miles because that's what I just decided I wanted to do at the time, and um, yeah, and just emailing them, calling them, obviously doing good work and doing everything on time and scanning docs back when necessary. Yeah, and it's just kind of snowballed from there, and I don't really know how to explain it.
No, well, I think you explained it perfectly, by the way.
Yeah.
And you know, I hope people who watch all these interviews, and hopefully the loan signing system students watching this, is, you know, I tell like Calvin. I don't know if you watched the one with Calvin, the 24-year-old who's doing big money down in Florida. You
Hmm.
know, he said, Mark, I got your course and I called every single signing service you gave us. The point I'm trying to make is their implementers are successful.
Yeah.
So you called them too. That's the point I'm trying to make, is
Yeah.
you called them like I told you to call them. You used the script like I told you to do. And that shouldn't be overlooked. I mean, you're getting
Yeah.
the business, you're taking the moment of one of the signing services, presenting the value add, taking the script I give you, making it your own. You know, you put in the 50-mile radius. Once again, I give you the foundation, you create your house on top of it. But there is a way to explain it, man. It's that you're an
Yeah.
implementer. Like, you didn't wait for these notifications to come in. There's people watching this right now who are like, oh, I don't answer. I answer the text message, but I don't get it. And I'm like, call them up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm giving information away for free right now. Like, I
Yeah.
try to get as much value as I can to even people who aren't LSS students. And
Yeah.
if anything that you heard Andrew say or Calvin or any of the other students who are in these videos, it's call up the signing services. You know, if you need help presenting how you add skills, please join the family.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you the secret sauce. It's call,
Yeah.
make a conversation. You know, these videos aren't about teaching the script, but you know, these videos are about teaching what you do. And man, you walk into a title company.
Yeah.
You know, LSS students who haven't gone direct, who have the same script you do.
Yep.
But the difference is you walked in. And that's
Yep.
what I want. I want other students to be inspired by, man. And
Yeah.
other people watching these videos just be inspired by, you know, successful people are implementers. So man, I can't stop just congratulating you enough and getting juiced.
Thank you.
Hope people are excited about this. Okay, so let's go into month number 3 when you banged out $10,000. Once again, the quickest loan signing student to get the
Crazy.
10K money club.
Crazy.
Incredible, man.
Crazy.
So month number 3 rolls around. Talk about month number 3.
Yeah, month number 3 started to get more direct business, probably 50-50 now, maybe 40-60 direct to signing service. And like you were saying before, like having the multiple revenue streams I think is really important, because there will be some weeks where I didn't get any appointments, or maybe just a handful from this revenue stream, this signing service, and then the next week it flipped. So having the multiple revenue streams, direct and signing services for me, and I still do a lot of signing service business right now. My goal in next year is to be more direct, but yeah, it's been super busy, and just keep working on those relationships and doing good work, focusing on the appointment that I have right now and making sure I do a really good job.
No, I love it. And so, I mean, so now, how many months in are you as signing?
I'm going into month 6.
That's great. And so you're now consistently floating around the $8,000 and $10,000, $12,000 mark. Pretty.
Yeah, I haven't hit 12 yet. I thought I was going to hit it this month, and I think I would have if it wasn't for the holidays.
On Christmas.
Yeah, I think November was my best. I did 11 and a half.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
No, congratulations. I'm so happy for your family, for your little baby boy,
Yeah.
for your wife. I mean, dude, this is epic. And like I said, I mean, there's no doubt that you're going to be in the 20K club, signing service club. I mean, man, your trajectory is unbelievable. I hope other LSS students are inspired by your success. And look, I always tell people I don't have a magic pill. I have technique that if you put effort behind it can make you a big business. And the effort you get credit for. I take none of that, man. So I want to just make sure you understand that this is because of you. And like you said earlier, like effort equals signings.
Yeah.
And you don't recreate the wheel. You do what I tell you and you do it, and that's it.
And that's motivating to me. I mean, the coolest thing about this is, people can work part-time. They can build their own schedule. They can be flexible. If they have multiple children, they have another job, or they just have different passions. At this point in my life, I'm just hitting the pavement and trying to make as much as I can, because I've got other goals that I'd like to, that I need money for. But like you said before, anyone can do it, and that's what you teach us. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Oh man, you're so welcome. Okay, so let's get into the good nitty gritty stuff that some students love to hear, whether they're a student of ours or not. So I always ask every LSS student I interview this question, and that is, what is one tip you would give any signing agent right now that you would help grow their business because it helped grow your business?
I would say the biggest thing is focus on the appointment that you have right now. That is the most important appointment that you have. Don't think about traffic. Don't think about your next appointment or where I have to go, or where am I going to find a FedEx or UPS office. I learned that the hard way. There was a week where I had a lot of errors. I was like, holy cow, how did I do this? And I think I look back on it and I said, wow, I took on too much work in one day, and I wasn't focusing on those particular clients when I needed to. So that's the biggest thing. Just it'll grow organically, but you have to build that foundation of quality and accuracy, attention to detail, and time management, and you will learn how to manage your time better as it goes.
I do. That is probably one of the best piece of advice we've got in one of these interviews, and you said it more eloquently than I could have. Your business will grow as your service you provide is the best it can be.
Yeah.
So many signing agents live, and it makes sense because when you're brand new at something, you're not sure if you're going to keep getting it.
Yeah.
And so what I think happened in the beginning for you and most signing agents is you end up in the beginning of your business having what's called a scarcity mindset. You're afraid there's not going to be any more food, so you shove all the food in your mouth
Yeah.
versus like, look, I need to slow down. There's going to be food on the table. And you were
Perfect.
so
Yep.
scared that you weren't going to get more business that you had to slam in all this business, and you realize that's a short-term way of thinking. You
Yep.
end up losing business because you're trying to slam so many
Yep.
versus building organically, man. That's such
Yeah.
a good piece of advice. It's the loan signing system way. Your most important signing is the signing you're currently at. I love how you blatantly said, don't think about the traffic, because we all have a tendency to do like that. That just is what it is in our business,
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and what I do to this day as being a signing agent is, we kind of talk about your time management. I think it's a good little tangent conversation.
Yeah.
First off, this interview is fire, by the way. I hope people watch this back a few times.
Thank you.
So, back to the time management is, at this point in my career, I'm 16 years in. I mean, I can do a signing in 30 minutes and still give a pretty good performance as far as making it feel comfortable. But I still allocate a minimum of an hour to an hour 15 because
Yeah.
I'm anticipating and I'm allowing what I call my signing to breathe, right?
Yeah.
So I allow my signing to breathe. That puts less pressure on me to get through them, rush that appointment. So no matter how good that I think I am, I don't allow myself to get arrogant or cocky and say, oh, I'm going to schedule signings 45 minutes between each other because
Yeah,
I want each to breathe. And so, I always do an hour minimum, like no ifs, ands, or buts. And if I can
Yeah.
squeeze an extra 15, I
Yeah.
do it because I can still get through the next appointment in time. I can still do 5 or 6 appointments a day if they're only taking me an hour each. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's my time management tip. What's yours?
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good one. I will only schedule, every hour, like you said, and then sometimes a little bit more depending on, where I'm going to go, traffic. By this point, I've really gotten the metro area down to know, okay, if I'm going to go on the northeast side, it's going to take me longer. There's going to be traffic, there's construction, etc. You also kind of learn, I guess, the types of documents and packages that are with certain companies, certain title companies, and some of them, yeah, Quicken's the best. I could probably do a Quicken signing in 15 minutes.
I know, that's the best.
Yeah. But some of them, there's a lot of paperwork and there's more forms than others. So I actually stopped working with a couple because they were just so time consuming. And I was like, you know what, I'm not going to work with these anymore because they sometimes will provide documents late. There's delays. They're inaccurate. Borrowers are upset, and that cuts into my schedule and my business. So I just decided they're not clients I want.
Dude, that is like next level. That's 10K a club information right there.
Yeah,
And
it is.
the thing is that, and I think I want to talk about it because, this is great information for newbies or people in the 10K club.
Yeah.
And any business in America has this conversation with themselves. It's a leader loss concept. It's like, what am I taking and what am I losing? And making the business person decision of, I might lose, let's say, 5 signings a month by not working with client A, but I'm going to gain 8 signings by being able to take a little bit from a few more people.
Yeah.
And having what I would call a mature business decision on that is a really next level 10K club member stuff. So if you're watching this video for the first time and you're in the 2K club, circle back when you're in the 10K club, because I think we dropped some fire right there, man. This is a great interview. Okay, so moving on to the last question of the interview. And once again, thank you. Christmas Eve. I mean, people watching this in the future, I know you have a family. And so, I know you wanted to help inspire others. And so I want to make sure I'm saying thank you. And I'm sure people watching this are saying thank you as well.
No, thank you. That's okay. I already did 3 signings today. So
3 signings on Christmas Eve, everybody. That is a loan signing system student. Let's go. Okay. So, I think people look at you, Andrew, and they go, okay, cool. He's a 10,000 a month signing agent. He's going direct. What is one tip that what is something that, looking back on your journey, who is now a $10,000 a month signing agent, that you like, man, I shouldn't even been nervous about that to begin with? What is something,
Yeah.
what is that moment you can maybe help someone else not be so nervous about?
Yeah. Probably just the people side of things, and just realizing that these title companies, these escrow officers, these real estate agents, they're just people. They're just like you and me, and they need your skills, and you have those skills to offer. You just have to make it known.
That's
Um,
right.
so, I mean, work's not going to come to you if nobody knows you're in business. I mean, if you're selling soup, you don't have a sign up. I mean, how the heck are people going to know? So
Right.
that's probably the biggest thing is just having the confidence and realizing, kind of failing forward, so to speak. You're gonna fail. You're gonna get closed doors. You're gonna get no's. You're not gonna get phone calls from some people for a while, and you just move forward and you adapt and focus on those people and those clients that are bringing you in bringing business, showing gratitude, and just growing organically. And not like you always say, don't worry about the money, build the foundation, offer really good service, and it'll come.
Man, I don't know a better way to wrap up the interview. And then with that, I think that was, I mean, a lot of those nuggets, I think what I want to talk about of the nuggets is that they're just people.
Yeah.
Right. And you said you're not a salesman. You said you're kind of introverted by nature.
Yeah.
People see me and they see me jumping around and getting high energy. And sure, I'm an extrovert, admittedly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I try to tell people that introverts, like, there's no bigger introvert than Robin Schmidt. And if you
Yeah,
met
she's
her, she
pretty
was
introverted.
shy
Yeah.
and quiet, and she is the highest grossing LSS female student we have. And so, I love getting students on like yourself who are admittingly like, I'm not a salesman, I was an accountant.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and if an accountant can do it, anyone can get direct business. Man, I just want to say thank you. I want to say congratulations. I want to
Thank you, Mark.
excited to see a conference this year. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know this, but all the 10K club member winners get a moment on stage in front of everybody. So I'm excited
Yeah.
about having you on stage.
Awesome.
Congratulations, man. Thank
Thank
you
you.
again. And is there any last words you want to leave any signing agents with?
Um, well, you always say this a lot, like believe in yourself, and I never really had a reason to. I had a steady job. It wasn't great, but it was income, and I never really needed to motivate myself to go do something out of my comfort zone. And you helped me do that, so thank you.
You're welcome, man. It's belief. I always tell people, you can't make someone else to believe what you don't believe.
Yep.
You're amazing. You're great. And you haven't even touched the surface of what you're capable of. I'm here if you need anything, man. Let's build a business in 2020 even bigger than it already is.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, brother.
Looking forward to it.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay. Bye.